Hello, my friend. Happy hump day. Today, our theme is still. We have 5 days left of our practice together. So let this day 17 motivate you to stay on your path. This practice is so special, inviting you to be still in so many ways. We're building on from our last few practices, and we're going to continue to work on finding action within our alignment and continue to mindfully build strength throughout the body. With our vocabulary growing, learning all these different names for our poses, maintain your connection to your foundation. And remember, not everything has to be harder, faster, or stronger. Welcome a stillness. Notice where your thoughts go and keep exploring. We're going to begin today in our Tadasana mountain pose. So come on up to the top of your mat and we'll check in with our foundations to start. Grounding down through all 4 corners of the feet, drawing that energy up through the arches, feeling it as you lift up through the calves, lift the kneecaps, engage your thighs and pelvis. Palms are facing forward. Roll the shoulders down the back, lifting the chest slightly, stacking the head over the heart and the heart over the pelvis. A nice, beautiful, strong mountain. Take the lock out of your knees. Inhale, we'll send both hands out overhead, bringing them up above us. Bring the palms together. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold forward. Uttanasana. Plant the palms on either side of the feet. And we'll step it back 1 foot followed by the next to our plank. On our inhale, we'll lower our knees, chest, and chin down to the mat. And you know the drill. Hug those elbows in. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale, release fully to the ground. Press into the tops of the feet. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. Inhale, Bhujangasana. Exhale, tuck the toes under and press it up and back, downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet here, bending into one knee, followed by the other. Just opening up in the hips, just stretching it out. And then we'll come to a moment of stillness in our down dog, pressing into all 10 fingers. Shoulders are drawing away from the ears. Upper arm bones are rotating out. Breathing into our armpit chest. Melt the chest back towards the thighs. Hinge those hips higher towards the sky. And heels are pulling to the back of the room. Of course, keeping a nice bend in the knees if we need it. On our next inhale, send your gaze up towards the top of the mat. Bend the knees and take a nice big step or 2 up to the top. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise. Send the hands out either side, bringing them up and overhead. Exhale, hands to prayer. Inhale, sweep the hands out either side, bringing them overhead. Palms come together. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, Uttanasana, fold forward. Plant the palms and step it back to your plank. Inhale, lower knees, chest, chin. Exhale, release fully to the ground. Inhale, Bhujangasana, cobra, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Exhale, downward facing dog. On our next inhale, we'll just simply step the right leg up and place it in between our hands. Lower the left knee, untuck the left toes. Plant the left hand in line with the sole of the right foot and inhale, sweep the right fingertips up and overhead, and on the exhale we'll send that hand all the way back as if we're trying to reach the back of our mat. Inhale, sweep it all the way back up. Exhale, send it down to frame the front foot. Inhale, we'll come up onto the fingertips, tuck the left toes under, and send the hips all the way back, peeling the sole of the right foot up towards the sky. Half splits here. Inhale, nice full breath. Exhale, roll forward and plant the right foot. Inhale, we'll sweep both hands up and overhead. Low lunge here. Back toes are still tucked under. Hips are nice and square to the front of the mat. We're holding steady here. Turning the abs on. Front knee over front ankle. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. Invite a stillness while maintaining our alignment, our connection to the pose. Take a deep breath in here. Reach those fingers closer up towards the sky. Exhale, send them down to frame the right foot. Pick up the left foot. Step the right foot back to your plank. We're holding steady here in our plank. So press away from the mat with your hands. Belly draws up to meet the spine, hollowing it out here in our plank. Bum is nice and low. Squeeze the ankles together. Squeeze the thighs together. Squeeze the bum together. Connect to the breath. We're here for 2 more nice deep breaths. You got it. On your next inhale, take a full breath in. And exhale, we'll hinge the hips up and back to our downward facing dog. Once we get to our down dog, we'll settle into the posture and find a moment of stillness. Connecting back to the breath. Being aware of our alignment. Take a second to pause the video if you'd like to and check out our guidebook for the day that we did our downward facing dog. And on our next inhale, we'll step the left foot up towards the top of the mat and lower the right knee down, untuck the right toes. Plant the right hand in line with the sole of the left foot and inhale, sweep the left fingertips up towards the sky. Exhale, lower the right arm all the way behind us as if we're trying to reach the back of our mat. Inhale, bring the left fingertips back up. Exhale, float them all the way down. Come up onto the fingertips here. Take a full breath in as you tuck the right toes under. And exhale, send the hips all the way back, peeling the foot up towards the sky. Toes are facing your ceiling, keeping as big of a bend in the knee here as we need. Take a full breath in. And exhale, roll forward on the left foot. Inhale, sweep both hands up and overhead, holding steady here in our low lunge Anjali Asana. We're checking in with our foundation, so our front foot grounding down through all 4 corners of that front foot, nice and strong. That's where our stability is going to come from. The knees over the ankle. Just be mindful of if we're dumping in that front knee, and if we are, just pull the left hip crease back. Hips are nice and square to the front of the mat. Pressing into the toes of the right foot and squeezing the thighs together. If your ribs are splaying out, go ahead and just turn those abs on. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. Inhale, reach the fingertips closer towards the ceiling. And exhale, send both hands down to frame the left foot. Pick up the right foot and step the left foot back to your plank. Again, we're holding steady here in our plank. So pressing away from the mat with our hands, making space between our ears and our shoulders. Belly button draws up to meet the spine, hollowing out our plank here. Bum is nice and low to the ground. squeezing from the butt cheeks together, the thighs, the calves, the ankles. If you're feeling a little shake, that's the prana, that's the energy. Welcome it. Noticing where our thoughts go in this moment of stillness. We're here for 2 more breaths. Take a nice deep breath in. And again, full breath in. Exhale to release. Take a nice deep breath in. And on your exhale, we'll hinge the hips up and back to our downward facing dog. Awesome. Find a moment of stillness in your down dog once again. Coming back to the foundation. So our hips are hinging nice and high up towards the sky. Heels are pulling to the back of the room, and it's okay if our heels aren't flush onto the mat. I actually prefer to have a little space between my heel and the mat. Kind of gives me a goal of where my heels are reaching down towards. Feeling that rootedness, that energy between the earth and my foot. Pressing into all 10 fingers. Shoulders are almost as if we're trying to rotate our shoulders out a little bit more to the left and the right respectively. Making space up there and breathing into our armpit chest, that side of our rib cage. On our next inhale, we'll sweep the right foot up towards the top of the mat and plant it in between our 2 hands. Lower the left knee, untuck the left toes. Walk the right hand to the inside of the sole of the right foot, and we'll heel toe the right foot all the way out to the edge of our mat. Yogi's choice here, you can keep your foot parallel to the edge of the mat, or we can open the toes out, bringing our toes onto the ground, keeping the heel onto the mat. Completely your choice. We're heading into our lizard pose, so please tune in and listen to what feels good in your body. If it is accessible to you, feel free to lower down onto the forearms here. If we're staying with our back foot lowered, press into the top of that left foot. Drawing the shoulders away from the ears nice and strong, not collapsing here. The neck is a lovely, beautiful extension of the spine, so be mindful of if you're hanging your head all the way down, and just adjust so it's in line with the spine. If you want a little extra hot fire flames, we can tuck the left toes under and lift up that left knee. If our left foot is lifted, go ahead and squeeze those thighs together. It's a nice strong pose here in our lizard, opening up our hip. And as we invite the stillness of this hip opener, I invite you to turn inward. To listen to what your physical body or your emotional body is asking for. If you need to lower a knee, come up onto the hands. Please do so. We're holding it here for just a few more breaths, being mindful in the stillness of where our mind wanders to. On our next inhale, if our left leg is lifted, we'll go ahead and lower it down to the ground, untucking the left toes. We'll come back up onto our hands. And we'll heel toe that right foot back into the center. Send both hands down to frame the right foot. Tuck the left toes under and we'll pick up our left leg. Step the right foot back to your plank. Lower both knees down to the ground. Open them up as wide as the mat, bringing the 2 big toes to touch in the center. Send the hips all the way back as you walk the hands to the top of the mat and melt the chest and the forehead down to the earth. Extended child's pose, Balasana. Again, taking a moment here in our child's pose to invite a stillness and a calmness. Quiet the busyness of your mind. Allow yourself to be present in this moment. On our next inhale, we'll come back up to our tabletop position, wrists under shoulders, knees under the hips. Take a full breath in, and on our exhale, we'll hinge the hips up and back to our downward facing dog, staying in our down dog for 3 breaths, holding that stillness, noticing where our mind goes. On our next inhale, we'll step the left foot up towards the top of the mat and plant it in between our hands. Lower the right knee and untuck the right toes. Walk the left hand to the inside of the sole of the left foot and heel toe the left foot all the way out to the edge of the mat. Again, yogi's choice here, keeping the foot parallel to the mat or opening it up so that the toes are on the ground and the heel is on the mat. So coming onto like a nice angle here. And this is completely your preference. Neither one is better than the other. If it is accessible to you, you can lower down onto your forearms. Feel free to get a block if you have, or some cushions to help bring the earth up to you so that you can be on your forearms. And if our right leg is staying on the ground, make sure that we're pressing into the top of that right foot. If we do want a little extra spice in our stretch here, this deep hip opener, we can tuck the left toes under and lift the left knee up, squeezing the thighs together if the back leg is lifted. Again, maintaining nice strength in the shoulders here, not dumping or collapsing. And the neck again is a beautiful extension of the spine, so not hanging the head down low, but rather looking at the top of our mat, sending our gaze, our drishti, to the top of the mat. And again, here as we hold this stillness, I encourage and invite you to turn inward, to listen to your body. If it's screaming at you to lower a knee, we're not here to impress anyone, not even ourselves. So lower that knee if you need to, or come back up onto the hands if you need to. We're here for just a few more breaths, opening up the left hips. And I like to give this disclaimer whenever we do a heavy hip opening class. As humans and as women in particular, we carry a lot of emotions, quote unquote, trapped in our body, particularly in our hips as women. So if you feel over the next hour, the next day, the next couple of days that you're feeling more emotional or feeling heavy, if you have an outburst of anger or of crying, if you have an emotional release, please know that it is completely normal. There is nothing wrong with you and it is totally okay. And this may just sound like some mumbo jumbo hippy dippy stuff, and that's a-okay. I definitely did not believe any of my teachers when they were telling me this until I experienced it myself. But all this to say, if it does happen to you, just have grace, hold space for yourself, let the feelings come and let them go. On your next inhale, if your right leg is still lifted, we're going to go ahead and lower it to the ground and untuck the right toes. We'll come back up onto the hands and we'll heel toe the left foot all the way back into the center. Send both hands down to frame the front foot. Tuck the right toes under and pick up that right knee. Step the left foot back to your plank. Take a full breath in and lower the knees down to the mat. Heading into our extended child's pose, Balasana. Walk the knees out as wide as the mat, bringing the 2 big toes to touch in the center. Send the hips all the way back, walking the hands to the top of the mat and sending the hips back, melting the chest and the forehead down to kiss the earth. Again, staying here in our child's pose, inviting the stillness, becoming aware of where our thoughts go when we do have a little time to be still. Feel free to stay here in your child's pose for as long as you can, enjoying the stillness. And try and carry this sentiment with you throughout the rest of your day. If you have an extra minute, 2 or 5, sit with yourself wherever you are. Close your eyes, turn inwards, and invite a stillness.